It's going to be a boring fight.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, I think we should mention De Los Santos. The reason
got power,
he's got a lot of pop into De Los Santos.
Sneaky. He's sneaky, Los Santos.
Yeah, I think Keyshawn's both a better boxer, but pop-wise, they're probably about equal.
But you can't knock Keyshawn's performance against Brinchick because it was great.
The Box Live community thinks 46% for Keyshawn Davis. Welcome back to BoxCast. In this episode, we're going to look at the upcoming fight between Keyshawn the Businessman Davis and Edwin de Los Santos, taking place on the 7th of June, Saturday the 7th of June, in the Scope Arena in Norfolk, USA. Let's start with a tail of the tape. So Keyshawn Davis has a record of 13 wins, 0 losses, 0 draws, 13 fights in total. He's won 9 of those fights by KO. He's age 26. He's 5'9" tall, which is 175 centimeters. He's got a 70-inch reach, 178 centimeters. And this is taking place a lightweight, which is 135 pounds, 61.2 kilos. And he fights out of an orthodox stance. His opponent, Edwin de Los Santos, has a record of 16 wins, 2 losses, and 0 draws, 18 fights in total, 14 wins by KO. He's age 25. He's 5'8", 173 centimeters tall. He's got a 70-inch reach as well, 178 centimeters, and he fights out of a southpaw stance. So it's in Keyshawn's hometown in Norfolk. And Edwin de Los Santos comes from Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. Good lightweight contest. Edwin de Los Santos had I think he fought against Shakur Stevenson, which he lost, but it's quite a close fight. On the cards anyway. And I think the other loss against was William Foster III, but that was was lower down weight, I think, at 130 pounds. So he's won against Luis Acosta, Jose Valenzuela, and Joseph Adorno, and now taking on Keyshawn Davis. And it's a WBO world lightweight title, isn't it, on the line? And Keyshawn obviously has won most of his fights. I think he's sort of got better. He had a couple where he got to... he had a Maduena where he got to unanimous decision, wasn't it? Was one way, and but then he sort of picked up against Gustavo Lemos, and then I think the one that got people excited was his performance against Brinchick. What do you think? You're pulling a puzzled face. Go on. Your thoughts on this fight?
Well, I find Keyshawn Davis puzzling.
Sorry?
I find him puzzling, Keyshawn Davis.
Okay. Why?
Is he one of them fighters that needs the big names?
Well, you would have said, isn't it, that he was... he's a good fighter and a good prospect. I think everybody's got into attention because of the way he's taken care of Brinchick. Although I'm not sure Brinchick came into that fight with the best tactics. He sort of played into Keyshawn's hands. Or is Keyshawn that good? I think that's the question, really, isn't it? Well, because you don't know, because he's only had really one. Or is he like an Ennis or I think he rises to the occasion?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, because he has got a padded record.
Well, it's only 13-0 yet, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's Golden not Boy that have looked after him. I think he is Golden Boy. Or no, Top Rank, isn't he?
Top Rank, I think,
yeah. Yeah, I think they have looked after him.
Well, he's got up to reasonable, and then he's picked up. It's really where he's got to like Jose Pedraza, then Miguel Madueno, which was the one he was supposed to blast out the water, but because it went to, all the 10 rounds, and then he sort of, got back onto the exciting fighter because he took out Lemos in 2 rounds and Brinchick in 4. That's what raised his, star again, isn't it? And to be honest, it was a good performance in both of those, isn't it? So fights, because they were both supposed to be tough fighters that it was likely to go, the distance, and he's got, disposed of them both. I think the one people expected was against Miguel Madueno, where I should say struggled, but it wasn't I think people expected him to blast them out, and it didn't happen. But yeah, since then he's picked up, and I think that's why it's that high. But you don't know whether that's, like you said, it's is he one of those where he needs the opponent to, raise his game, or is he that good?
It's going to be a boring fight.
You think so?
Yeah. It'll be Keyshawn Davis running around the ring, picking him off. Be like the Devin Haney fight. He will
Or
not,
like Shakur's performance against him.
Yeah, he will not.
Do you think Keyshawn can do that fight?
He's going to try.
I think we should mention De Los Santos. The reason
got
Shakur,
power,
because he's got a lot of pop. He's not your typical, like, sort of, well, maybe Dominican is typical, but he's got the boxing skills, but he's got the pop as well. So he's not your typical, like, sort of that region of the world fighter where they have a good amateur record and everything else.
I think he's going to really fancy this.
De Los Santos?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's going to be well up for it. And if he turns up the same way as he did as against Shakur, I think he beats him.
He's a tough fight for anybody. Like most people, he does. He's in a knockout ratio 14 and 16. So you think this is it's a boxing test for Keyshawn?
I think they've messed up picking De Los Santos.
Maybe.
I really do think they have messed up.
Or do you think they now think he's ready? Because the thing is, if you're really going to be the champion, you've got to have these fights in it. Because he's a good measure of how good you are.
I mean, he took
a tricky fight.
He took care of Brinchick, but he is still.
I think Brinchick was.
He's a novice, isn't he, Keyshawn?
Yeah. It's a learning experience, but against somebody who's dangerous.
I don't know if they pushed him too quick.
Well, he's world champion now, so he's got to defend as well, isn't he?
But that's what I mean. I think they've pushed him too quick into that.
He's got up to the... Let me just bring up the rankings, see where our man is. Lightweight.
I mean, Keyshawn's got fantastic boxing skills, footwork, speed, but yeah, I think he has got a glass jaw.
Well, he hasn't been beaten yet, up or down. Do you think we'll find out in this?
Yeah, I think he's got a glass jaw.
Mm-hmm. But do you think he's skilled enough not to get caught? Although, to be fair, he does get hit a little bit. Yeah. He's got better in his last couple of fights, but I think he does. But he also looks quite big at the weight. Because against Brinchick, he looked huge.
I don't know.
Because I get the feeling he could move up in weight faster than... I think Shakur's at his weight. I think he's got like the frame and age.
I've just got a horrible feeling. Because I am an admirer of Keyshawn Davis. I've just got a horrible feeling he made a mistake picking this fight. You know, when you just have that feeling.
It's a dangerous fight.
I just think Los Santos is... But... I mean, you've heard me say it before, a fighter will step up the better the opponent. Is Los Santos going to make Keyshawn step up?
Well, he seems to be fairly confident because he's like, I'm going to get him out of there fairly quick. So, Keyshawn Davis. Los Santos isn't backing down
that's
either.
Not,
he's like,
that's
or
him.
Is that just marketing and pushing
I
his
think
fight?
that's Keyshawn Davis thinking he's not nowhere near the same level as him, so that's where he might underperform.
Do you think he's a bit overconfident because of the Brinchick performance? Because I think that, well, even we said it was going to be, I think we both had him to win, but we thought it was going to be a closer fight.
Yeah.
And then, he's sort of...
just dismantled him, didn't he?
Dismantled him. He's too powerful. See, I think he's got the pop to go both ways here. I think he's got the pop to slow De Los Santos down as well. Maybe not get him out, but, well, I think he has got enough to get him out. But the problem is you've got De Los Santos has got enough to get him out as well. And if you get caught, So it's whether he boxes and
so actually,
patience.
I say,
Do you think he's mature enough to do a good boxing performance?
I'm saying, they pick wrong. No, it's a really good fight, actually.
Yeah.
I do think it might be a boring fight with Keyshawn just picking him off.
I think he's going to go for it. That might be his undoing as well. I think he's going to. I think he is going to try and get him out of there The problem is if he rushes, I think you're basically playing into the Los Santos.
Sneaky. He's sneaky, Los Santos. Very,
Well, he's
very
got boxing skill
sneaky.
with pop, which is, yeah, I think Keyshawn's both a better boxer, but pop-wise, they're probably about equal. Maybe even the Los Santos might have more in that one-punch pop. I mean, Keyshawn does put together really good combos and stuff, but so can the Los Santos in less numbers, but he can put together a bit of boxing in patches. That's how he sort of seems to box.
Yeah.
I mean, Shakur was basically just did it from distance. I mean, but Shakur is like probably the best defensive boxer there is at any weight.
Can make people...
But it was a bit of a boring.
Yeah, and that's what you're going to get with Shakur, unfortunately.
Whereas I don't think Keyshawn wants to go down that bit, so I think he will.
I'm just wondering whether Keyshawn might follow with what Shakur did, though.
I hope not. Otherwise, it will be a boring fight.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
We build it up, and it's. I think Keyshawn's got a bit more about himself to make it exciting because I think he understands he's got to build his profile, and I think that's when he's done better when he's let his hands go. Because when he's boxed and got to the end, like against Miguel Madueno, it wasn't, I mean, it was a one-way contest, but it was still. And I think he's got a bit more confidence out of the performances where he can get, he takes a chance. Although he's patient, he doesn't rush. But if there's a chance, he does put the pedal to the metal. So, what about the Los Santos' chance of winning? We think catching him with a punch, being sneaky.
Do you know? I mean, I was reading what Timothy Bradley said. Because
I think the flaw in Keyshawn's is one, he may be overconfident and he goes because of the recent performances, and that's going to play into the Los Santos' hands. And the second one is, like you said, has he had enough fight? Has he got enough ring experience?
Yeah.
And will that play into the Los Santos' hands?
Tim Bradley's basically said, if Dos Santos goes in like he did against Jose Venezuela, Keyshawn will last 2 rounds.
Yeah.
I think Tim Bradley is...
He got Valenzuela out in 3, didn't he?
Yeah, is confident that Dos Santos knocks Keyshawn out.
Okay.
I find that interesting.
Yeah. Maybe seen some flaws in Keyshawn.
Yeah. No, I think it's just because of how
good
sneaky
the Los Santos is.
Yeah.
Well, I think that because obviously Keyshawn's in the, quite good mates with Shakur, and in the same camp, I think they would know how to do it. I think, go on.
But that worries me.
What worries me is if he goes into... to be honest, it doesn't worry me because I want to see a good fight. So I'd like him if he does.
Yeah, but I just think whether he's going to follow Shakur and it'll be a boring fight.
Yeah, but I don't think that's going to do enough for his reputation. I think he's more... I think if he does boring, he's going to win, but it doesn't help him in reputationally. I think in the point, he's won, but if you're trying to sell fights and he's trying to build his name as the bigger name, that's not going to help. But he'll probably win on that because I think he is a better boxer than Los Santos. And I think he's capable of... He's got enough about him to be able to box it from distance. About. He's quick enough, his hand-foot movement. He's got fast hands as well. And enough pop to just slow down. But if he goes for it, I think that makes more reputation, but he's taking a bigger risk because then you're playing into sort of Los Santos' hands. I think he needs to be in a middle road. Take it, feel it out, and then slowly, apply more pressure. If he actually, a sensible method. And we're going to say that he'll knock him out in 2 rounds. And then we'll be like, oh yes, it's the same as Brinchik. He got rid of them really fast. Or the Los Santos knocks him out in 2 or 3 rounds.
Yeah, and I mean, I think Keyshawn has got a suspect chin. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't like saying that.
To be honest, I think the Los Santos at that weight has got enough power to take anybody out at that weight. I don't think there's anybody who catches you.
He might not have been knocked down, but he's been wobbled a couple of times.
Yeah. He does take more risks. And I don't think defensively he's as good as Shakur. Well, I don't think anybody is.
Not.
There probably another few fighters, but on the stats, Shakur's basically the best defensive fighter there is.
Is Keyshawn going to rise? Does he think it's an easy fight? And that's going to be his downfall. Yeah,
I think it's the mentality he comes in the ring with. But you would expect with being in like, because this is trainer Bomac as well, and that they're experienced and usually the fighters are really well prepared. That they won't allow him to do that. But it's whether he himself takes it on his own.
But you can't knock Keyshawn's performance against Brinchick because it was great.
Yeah. Well, nobody expected that. I mean, I think most people expected him to win, but nobody expected him to get him out of there the way he did. But like I said, I think, and that may be the thing where he rises to the occasion, and he does have that. And he's going to have got a lot of confidence out of that. It's whether he's gone overconfident. And I think that'll be his undoing. I think if he plays the game properly, I think, it should be his game. So should we make predictions? What do we see? What do you think?
I mean, your safe bet is to go with Keyshawn Davis, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Well, the safe bet is he does, like you said, does what like Shakur did.
Yeah.
Probably a little bit more entertaining, but like that. And outbox him, which I think he can. And then it's like, Keyshawn Davis by points is the one. But that's boring, so let's not have that. Let's do something else. Make it exciting.
So what? I'm going to go with Tim Bradley.
Oh, yeah, okay. Go on.
I'm going third round knockout for Los Santos.
Third round. Okay.
Yeah. Bold. I'm going to get some rip for that one.
Keyshawn Davis fans, please let Simon know your opinion in the comments. Like the video, but let us know in the comments. What do you think? Right, I'm going to go more,
obviously
Keyshawn Davis by... right, I've said we can't do points. I'm going to go by KO. Right, round... How far do I think he's going to get? Round 7. I'm going to go a bit bolder as well. So the Los Santos fans, let me know what you think of that. and Keyshawn fans, let us know in the comments what you think of that. What do you think is going to happen? How do you think it's going to play out? And, the results, obviously. We've given you our breakdown of the fight, and let us know what we can improve, what we've missed in our breakdown.
Everything.
If you think, we're completely wrong.
Completely wrong. No,
I think you're right. There's a chance, isn't it?
There's a lot of upsets in boxing lately, and I think this is going to be one of them.
Actually, we need to do we didn't do the odds in it. Should we do the odds now? Because I thought we'll make what we've got. It's probably going to be... The Box Live community thinks 46% for Keyshawn Davis, 54% for De Los Santos.
And you say, I'm one of the Box Live people, you see.
It's you. That was just you 12 times. 46% De Los Santos KO. So they're with you. 46% for Keyshawn Davis decision. Again, what you were saying. And basically 7.5% for De Los Santos decision. It's interesting. Now, the betting odds are a bit different. It's 1-7 on, so minus 710 to Keyshawn Davis.
Yeah.
And 4-1 plus 400 for De Los Santos.
4-1.
Yeah. That's quite wide. That's too wide. That really, isn't it?
I'm throwing a grand
and
on
the Box Live one is obviously the boxing community.
Can you lend me £1,000 to put that bet on, please?
That's
4-1. I am having that.
That's a good bet.
It's a very good bet.
So, yeah. Interesting. Yeah.
I am a fan of Keyshawn Davis,
I'm glad
by the
we
way.
did that after we predicted, because otherwise it would have been influencing us.
No, I am a fan of Keyshawn Davis. I do think he is really talented. I don't know what I've just got this feeling, my feelings. Just got the feeling, baby.
Well, it could be. It's a good one. And hopefully, well, like I said, I think to be an upset, it needs to turn into a proper fight. And if it's a proper fight, not a bore fest, it's better for us and the fans and everybody watching, isn't it? Right, the undercard, we've got another up-and-comer. Say up-and-comer, he's had more fights, professional fights, than Keyshawn Davis. Abdullah Mason versus let's say his name properly. Nakathila. And this is, so Abdullah Mason's upcoming lightweight. And I think this is a step up in like quality to see where what level he is, because he's had, they're slowly building him up and he's getting harder fights. And I think this is a fair bit of step up against an experienced fighter. And another 10-round fight, so he's building him up. So let me do the tail of the tape for this. So Abdullah Mason has had 18 wins, 0 losses, 0 draws, 18 fights in total, 16 wins by KO. He's age 21. He's also 5'9", 175 centimeters tall, and he's got a 74-inch reach, 188 centimeters. And this is a lightweight, so it's 135 pounds, 61.2 kilos, and he fights out of a southpaw stance. He's from Cleveland, Ohio, and he was born in Bedford, Ohio, USA. And he's fighting Jeremia and Nakathila. I hope I've said that correctly. I won't be saying his middle name. He's had 26 wins, 4 losses, 0 draws, 30 fights in total, 21 wins by KO. He's age 35. He's 6 foot tall, 183 centimeters. Don't know what his reach is, and he's got 100. He fights out of an orthodox stance. So it's a big, tall, awkward, experienced opponent for Abdullah Mason to build his resume. What do you think about Abdullah Mason? Obviously, in a very exciting prospect in lightweight. I think Bill coming through behind the ones who are there now, the established names. So Nakathila's lost at 130 pounds, but that's quite a long time ago in 2016. Then he's won. And then he's lost to Shakur Stevenson by decision. Okay, that's what everybody does. That was a 130 as well. And then he's lost to Raymond Murataya, again, very good fighter, at 135. He got KO'd in 2 rounds. And then Ernesto Mercado, but that was at 140, where he's got KO'd in 2 rounds. So, but then after that, he's got wins at 103 wins at 135, but all in, reasonable fighter, shall we say. So this is a step up in quality of opponent. But obviously he's an experienced, tall fighter for a lightweight. But really, I think it's get a bit more experience for Abdullah Mason, isn't it?
It's not going to be experience. He's going to knock him out in 3 rounds.
Yeah, okay.
Jesus, man. Abdullah Mason is
I'm trying to build it up here.
One of the best prospects going.
Yeah, but if you've seen in his fight, like last one, they've actually allowed him. He hasn't gone like all out to knock them out. He does try and get some rounds in. I think his corner have slowed him down.
He's going to knock him out inside 3 rounds.
Because he's done like 2, 2, 2, then 4, then 8, 4, then 6 in the 10 rounds. So I think he'll get to about halfway. Just to get some rounds in.
Good for him. He's cannon fodder. And that's all there is to it.
Experienced cannon fodder, though. And quite big. And he's got a good knockout ratio.
Yeah, because who's he been fighting? Come on.
Some boys from the hood, basically.
Abdullah Mason.
Yeah, he's a fan. I'm joking. I'm trying to build it up, give it a chance.
I'd say
it's a fantastic prospect.
He's in the top 10 of the young prospects coming through. He's still got a long way to go. And
the thing is, he needs to let that top bit of the lightweight go through. But if they go through, then he's like probably the hot number. Not
necessarily. I'm telling you now. Awkward southpaw.
I mean, he's with experience.
With power.
Around, he's got,
he's had 18 fights, 16 knockouts.
It's not just power. He's got good boxing skill and...
I'm telling you, this kid's good. He's 21.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. He's got a little bit to go, and all them are probably going to, get out the way. Or if they're sticking around... by 23, 24, 25, he's going to be, he's there. And he's probably going to get there faster. And this is really not an easy fight, but a step up in experience. But for where we think Abdullah Mason is going to go, I think,
he'll have a world title by the end of the year.
Just bold prediction from Simon. So,
world title by the end of the year.
Okay, so go on.
A world title shot by the end of the year.
We could do if the titles stay spread around. Go on then. What's your prediction then? We've already sort of said it.
Yes. Going for that third round knockout again, baby.
Third round knockout.
It's a card of 3 third round knockouts.
Okay, I'm going to give it a bit more. I think round 5. KO. Mason. Yeah, there isn't. We'll get the betting odds, but the prediction from here, Box Live, is nearly 86% for Abdullah Mason, 14% for Nakathila, 71% KO for Abdullah Mason, 14% KO for Nakathila, and then basically 14% decision for Abdullah Mason.
Was that his mum voting on that one?
Probably.
Yeah.
That's the one. It was just one vote, basically, the way. So
it was his mum.
Probably one vote, maybe 2 votes.
There we go.
The mum and dad. But, but yeah, I think it'd be a shock if it was the other way around. I think it's, if Abdullah Mason's going where we think he's going, I think he's got to get through this.
He's in the same division as Keyshawn Davis, isn't he?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's lightweight. You've got all Gervonta, Keyshawn and all of them in there.
Mate, throw him in with Keyshawn Davis.
Well, he's had more fights.
Do we?
Well, no, I think he's got time. He's only 21, didn't you say?
Throw him in with Davis.
And
get it made. Come on, Top Rank. You both your own fighters. You love that stuff.
No, they don't.
Get him in there.
So yeah, that's an interesting contest on there. But up and coming one, and yeah, a funny one as well. Like the up and coming ones had more fights than the main card. But yeah, interesting. So yeah, let us know your thoughts on Keyshawn Davis and Edwin de Los Santos, and then what you think of Abdullah Mason and Jeremia Nakathila. Have we underplayed Nakathila? Is he better than what we've said? Is Abdullah Mason as good as we've said? Let us know in the comments.
I think Abdullah Mason beats Keyshawn Davis.
Now?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
I do.
But I think in a couple of years, 2-3 years, yes, I agree. I think he can
spank him.
But I think Keyshawn's got a bit too much about him at the moment. Well, I think Abdullah Mason needs more experience.
He doesn't. He's going to smash Keyshawn to death.
But I think he's also in their camp, so it's probably not going to happen, innit? He's from their stable.
That's the problem.
Because he's already said he's not fighting Shakur, isn't it? Then both of them have said we're not fighting each other. And
do yourselves a favour, go in a different camp.
Well, no, I think Keyshawn's probably going to go. I think his weight will go up. I think Shakur will stay there. So we'll see. But we'll see. But, obviously they've got to get through the fights they've got there first. So
saying that, yeah, Keyshawn Davis is
you've got Los Santos to win. So then maybe he may have to fight Abdullah Mason, because if he loses, then he's going to have to rebuild, isn't he? So that might be the stepping stone for Abdullah Mason. So yeah, let us know the thoughts. Like and subscribe and comment, the usual things. Obviously, and also put a notification bell on so you know when we drop some videos, because there's quite a lot coming up. In June, July is hotting up as well, and then August, and then September. There's lots of good fights coming. I think the rematch of Gervonta and Lamont Roach is being penciled in for August. And then you've got Canelo Crawford in September, and you've got Inoue and Akhmadaliev. One Simon has been very much looking forward to. From the point of view of Akhmadaliev. I've been looking forward to it from the point of view of Inoue. I think that's being touted for September as well in Tokyo. So, and then there's July the 12th, we've got Belanga and Shiraz and all that undercard goodness. And 19th, we've got Usyk and Dubois 2, the rematch.
Got
the undisputed heavyweight.
Zuf Fundora rematch as well.
Yeah. Well, on the 19th, there's a load fight. There's your favourite fighter, Manny Pacquiao, coming back. Like 2,000 years old.
Speak to me about that.
Marius Barrios, or whatever his name is. And there's a few others. But yeah, we'll be doing all of those. So keep an eye out for them all. And we'll see you in the next video. Thank you very much.